Okay, everybody, we are live. I'm just getting the equipment set up and making sure we're positioned properly. We have had a house full, and if you caught my post earlier this morning, you know I am so freaking excited. My kids are here. I'm going to just take the camera really quick. I think I'm going to take it and show you what we have after we do a little intro. So welcome everyone. I am so excited that you are here. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you are live with us, and just so happy that you're here. This show has just been so much fun so far, and I can't even get over just the amount of comments and just thank yous, and just actually even your patience says that each week that I come live with you and share some of my favorite recipes. Your patience is just outstanding. So I so appreciate that, because, you know, every day in every way, we always get better and better, right? And so that is really my mission in trying to be very efficient and give you some really great cooking tips, because I think a lot of times, you know, you kind of watch a cooking show. I know I watch them all the time. It's one of my passions. And I feel like sometimes they jump ahead, and actually even one of my girlfriends, Sarah, even said this. She's like, they jump ahead and they don't really explain some things. So I hope that I'm getting better at explaining things. I know that I learn every time you ask a question, so I know I can explain a little bit better. So I so appreciate that. And I always love to start out the show with the people who won last week's giveaways. And so I'm so excited. One of these gals has shared every single, I think almost every single, maybe not everyone. I think she missed the first, maybe the first two, but I think she shared every one before. So I was so excited when the random generator picked her for the spices, and it was because of her comments. So, and then we have a grand prize winner for the spices, and also the favorite seasonal shake that is no longer available. So we'll go ahead and start out the show with that. But today I just want to make sure you understand what we are making. We are making the meatballs, my homemade meatball recipe. I think you're going to love it, and I'm not going to tell you. It is going to be gluten-free, kind of, sort of, but not really. It's going to have a little bit of gluten in it. But they're just so scrumptious. They're a special treat. It's one of those, you can have one, you can have two. I make them really big, and you can have them with sauce and put them with zoodles so that you save in the some of your calories, because you know what we try to do at this cooking show is have a meal that is set up for, you know, 600 calories or less. That's really our goal. But if you caught the show 3 weeks ago, I showed you how to make my pasta sauce, and we did it. We did the slow cooker version, crock pot, and at that time I had the great big slow cooker, so it didn't technically. It was a crock pot, but it was a slow cooker, and then the Instant Pot. And the Instant Pot was amazing. So I cut that recipe down from taking 5 to 6 hours to 20 minutes. I mean, that is just, it was outstanding. And then the following week we did the lasagna, but we still didn't have the meatballs. So this week we're going ahead and doing the meatballs, and I think you're gonna love the recipe. I know that I have a house full. If you saw my post this morning, my kids have come in, we were getting ready to go on vacation, and we're just so thrilled that everyone's here. Like, mobs are here. So we have an open kitchen today. So if you see a whole bunch of stuff going on in the back, or people coming around, I can't help that. So, you know, the studio is everybody's house as well. So just hang with it and enjoy the show. But we are actually, after I tape and finish up this show, we're actually going to be making ribs tonight as well, because some people wanted to have spaghetti and meatballs since I was planning the meatballs, and some people wanted to have our famous rib with our sauce. So anyway, that's kind of the craziness going on. So again, I appreciate all of you joining us. Let's get down to who the winners were. So let me remind you what the rules are. Not very many rules at all, actually. Just make a few comments, and then you get into the random generator. When you make a comment saying where you're from and saying hello, I mean, you can just say where you're from, and it's fine. Making questions and comments, I love it. every time you're making a comment or saying where you're from, you get put into a random generator for the next week. And that random generator gives you an honor of winning our Dano spices. And these are amazing spices. This is a guy who's on our team, on my health and nutrition team. And he has just come up with this incredible, you can't even imagine. These spices are phenomenal. I'm just going to read just some of the special pieces about them. And you win actually both the spicy and the traditional. Both of them are low sodium. They're just fabulous on everything, but there's no sugars, they're gluten-free, no MSG, and no GMO. I mean, this is just incredible. Plus, look, all my Kentucky people, woo woo, who's in the house? Yeah, they're Kentucky proud. So they're just phenomenal. But what I really love is how Dano takes fresh herbs, fresh spices, and some lemon peel, and well, I can't tell all the secrets, so I can't go on. But these are phenomenal. So if you don't see them in the store, which you don't, you know, you'll get a chance to win these. And we do this every week with Dano spices. So all you have to do is say where you're from, hello. Certainly, if you have any additional comments or ways that I can improve on our cooking show, I absolutely love it. So without further ado, Stephanie Noble. I know you may not be watching right now because you're usually working at this point in time and just seeing if you're on. You'd probably say hello, hello. I don't see you on. But Stephanie, you won the spices. I'm so excited for you. So you need to just send me a private message, girl, and I'll get these mailed off to you. And then for our grand prize winner, you're going to absolutely love this. Our grand prize winner is going to win a set of spices and our seasonal shake, our mocha seasonal shake. This is thebomb.com. I swear to goodness, I have so many people who said, I wish I ordered more, I wish I ordered more. I ordered 18, I wish I ordered more. My kids are loving it, and it's just phenomenal. I can't get over it. So our grand prize winner, oops, I should be holding it. You're gonna love it. Okay, all right. This is a girl who I am working with on doing some promotional advertising, and she's just gonna be so excited because she wanted to get signed up this week and she's waiting until next week. So toot, haha, Jennifer Leary, yes, you are the winner of these phenomenal items. I can't wait to get with you. You don't have to send me your address because you're actually local. I couldn't believe that. That was phenomenal. So there we go. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. I'm going to show you what we've prepped so far, and it looks like so many of you have joined. So if I haven't said hello, I'm sorry, because we just need to get on with the show and just make this all happen. But thank you all for joining me. Again, I'm so appreciative of you. I think the total was 7,700 views of this particular show. And we've been ranging about 7,000. But the one week when we made this pasta sauce, we hit 45,200 views. So phenomenal. So thank you. I so appreciate it. And the more people share, oh, by the way, that is how Jennifer, she shared the video. You share this video, that's how you win the grand prize. And every time it's going to be a seasonal shake. That one happened to be the mocha. I still have a few mochas to share. So every time you share this video, you put it on your wall. Just share it. I get a notification that you actually shared it, and you're entered into winning. So that's the beautiful thing. And we just put you in a random generator. So all the names go in, boom, 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 hit random, and it's a miracle. I mean, it's just, I love technology. Just amazing. Okay, so let's see what we've got going here. I'm going to carry this down just a smidgen so you can see in both pots. I've got both pots really ready. So I'm just going to turn the video here. They're both too hot to hold because I've had them on warming. That's the pasta sauce in the slow cooker. So we're going to put meatballs in that one. And we're going to actually put meatballs in the Instant Pot as well. Okay, so let me get this back. I don't actually have somebody to hold the camera and shoot it. That would be a nice thing. Maybe I can get Bree to come and stay sometime. I think I got a good view. That looks good. Maybe it's too far down. Hang with me. All right, so let's see what we got going on. I did some pre-work on these meatballs. I think that you'll love how easy this pre-work is. It's not a lot of pre-work. But what I did is I took a roasting pan. Oh, again, if I could do smell-o-vision, you would love this. This is amazing. So what I did is I diced up some onion and I diced up some garlic cloves, okay? And that's what's in here. This is gonna be, and I actually sautéed it. And so when I sautéed it, I used Dan-O's. I actually used this particular Dan-O for the sautéing. And I added an extra cumin, because I'm a really big cumin person. When I cook, especially when I'm working with Italian dishes, that is for me one of the things that I absolutely love. So I added cumin, and I just, I'm not the kind of person who measures. I think cooking is to taste. And I know baking, I have a few of you that are bakers, and we go back and forth, and I know I get it. Sometimes you really have to measure a lot. But the things that I cook for taste, and I'm really not big into measuring. But I will give you some rough estimates. I did a whole onion, and I actually divided it in half, and I did about 25 cloves of garlic, and I sauteed them. But instead of sauteing them to save in the calories and just have a little bit more flavor, I sauteed them in bone broth. And so this is the bone broth that I use. It's so fabulous. What I love about it is that it's low in calories, but you've got 10 grams of protein when you use it. I just absolutely love it. So you can get bigger containers, but you know what I love about this is that I used to buy just the big containers, and now I'm getting adjusted to using the small ones. So go figure. A girl can change, you know, right? We get used to it. But let me show you what we're going to use for the rest of it. So I put, I would say this is about a little bit over a quarter of a cup. It's nearly a half a cup. It's right in between. I'm not going to put too much, and I'm going to see how wet everything is. So I may hold off on those juices. So there's a lot of juice in there. So you want to have the meatball mixture to be wet, but not overly wet. And you'll see there are some other ingredients that are going to make it really super flavorful. So I'm just going to put those to the side. But what I'm going to do with the rest of that sauce, let me show you. So because we're going to be doing some grilling on the grill, I'm going to actually put this into my potato mixture. We do these, we call them deer potatoes, but because that's what a friend of ours, Dwayne Slate, named them. But it's been their name since, you know, I don't know, 22 years. So, but I'm actually going to use this mixture. I'm going to put it in the potatoes when we actually bake up the potatoes. They're going to be so phenomenal. People are going to say, what did you do different? This is it. This is going to be the secret sauce. But you know what else you can do with this? So if you do grilled bread, which we'll do grilled bread for this as well, you can actually get a basting brush and brush this on your bread. So a lot of times people will use, to make a garlic bread or a garlic toast, they'll use olive oil or, you know, an avocado oil, or sometimes you'll use butter. Well, guess what? Yeah, you can use this. This is amazing. This is no oils, no butters. It is just beautiful. So always remember garlic, onion, and bone broth, little cumin, a few little other spices from Dan-O, and this is beautiful. Okay, so that's going to go on after the cooking show ends. So that was the pre-work that I did. Now let me show you some other pre-work that I did. I took a crust of bread. This was a whole loaf of bread. And what I did is I took a few crusts, but mostly I dug out the middle. See that? I dug out the middle, and since we're doing two types of, we're doing the slow cooker meatball and we're going to do the Instant Pot meatball, I made two separate places for them. And so I put them aside into two different bowls. And what we're going to do with this, I've just really just crumbled up, you know, pulled them apart. You can make them a little bit finer piece. It's really going to be turning into a little bit of a mash. Now, a lot of people like to use breadcrumbs, but why I do the way that I do this is, if you've ever been into a meatball that's been kind of dry, and you think, oh, can't hardly eat it, or it's not really soft, this recipe makes the the meatballs succulent. I mean, they are mouth-watering. They just melt kind of in your mouth. The reason why is because of the bread. Now, so because it's not going to be totally gluten-free, you may need to substitute. There's lots of great substitutions. I'm not going to substitute on meatballs on this one, but I probably should make a different gluten-free kind of a meatball. But basically what you're going to do is to take the bread, you're just going to take the bread out. And you can use other kind of crumbs that are gluten-free, and there's a lot of them out there. And you can still use the same technique of pre-soaking it in the, because that's the next step we're going to do, is pre-soaking it in some buttermilk. Okay, but so what I've done is I've chopped up some Italian and flat leaf parsley. So Italian parsley, which is the flat leaf, and then regular parsley. And I've interspersed that around, so you can see it's just all interspersed. Beautiful. And so what I did is when we do the come shopping with me, so you see when we do the come shopping with me, I kind of show you all the ingredients. Well, buttermilk is listed as one of the ingredients. So buttermilk is it's a lot more expensive. So you don't really have to buy buttermilk, you can make your own. So I'm going to show you how. So you can take just a regular whole milk, and that's what this is. This is a whole milk in this particular container. And what I've done is I've taken the whole milk, and it's 2/3 of a cup of whole milk, right? And I've added the juice of half of a lemon. So you just squish it in. It's really simple. Let it set for 10 minutes, and it gets really kind of foamy. And then what I did is both buttermilks had to, I'm going to show you the difference between the two. This is real buttermilk that I bought at the store, just regular buttermilk. And I actually think that, and they've both been heated. So once it foamed up, you can see how it foamed up around the edges. And this buttermilk doesn't really have much foaming. But this really foamed up around the edges before I actually heated it. So you want to get this heated up until it just kind of steams. That's the beauty of this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pour it into the bowls of the bread. That one's very wet. I'm going to take some of the juice out of that. That's just a little too wet. Okay, so, and then what you're going to do is take your fork and mash it around. So simple. And what's going to happen, I'm going to actually share some of the liquid here because that is not quite even. And it's going to kind of turn into a paste, real pasty. And you don't want to, again, it's going to, you want to, your meatballs, you'll see as I mix all these ingredients together, you'll see how they sit and stand. This is really what makes it so, I'm going to put just a little bit more in here. So you'll see it's just going to get really beautiful and almost like a paste. That's exactly what you want. It's kind of like a paste. And if you're using gluten-free product, same thing. You're going to use the buttermilk, and you're going to just let it get real pasty. I'll show you what these look like. Un momento. And I'm going to let this sit just for a smidgen more, and I'll show you some other pre-work. This is about equal. If you could smell how that smells, it's so yummy. So good, so good, so good. And I just love fresh herbs. One of the things that I didn't show you when I did the fresh herbs, and it's something that I do with every herb I use, is I use a scissor and I actually chop right over the dish. The reason why I do that is because you want to have the essence that just sprays off. If you had a really slow moving camera, you'd be able to see that essence would be spraying off as you cut into the herb. And so it just goes right into the bowl. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. When you're serving, when we do a final plating, and then you'll see how I plate these meatballs, I'll post it in the comments below. I will do the same thing. I will actually cut on top of the meatballs themselves. And it's just beautiful. It just makes a great presentation. and it just creates that extra flavor that's so delicious. Okay, so this is ready to go. It's sitting up, just ready to be used. And everyone loved that tip on how to make buttermilk. You save money. It's really super easy. And most of the time, you're gonna have some milk around the house. We don't normally have milk around the house anymore, but so I just used it for demonstration. Thank goodness my child is here. He drinks milk, so I'll be able to give it to him. The other thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and taken 2 eggs. I'm going to show you. This is pre-work that I did. Really simple. We won't have to show anything. But what's important about this is anytime you're going to make a meatball, you're not going to manipulate the meat so much because you're going to blend it. You're going to blend these ingredients together, but you're not going to manipulate the meat too much because overworking the meat makes them a little rough. Okay, so you want to have these ingredients softly, gently folded in. Well, it's hard to softly fold in egg unless you beat it. So you want to beat the egg, okay? So I'm just going to give that other one a light beating so it's ready to go. Okay, the other thing that I've got pre-cut and pre-made is some ricotta cheese. This makes it really fluffy. It's the secret, one of the secrets. This and the bread, beautiful. It's gonna change the dynamic of any meatball you've ever made, ricotta cheese. And it's 2 scoops, it's like 1/4 cup, okay? 2 scoops, a little more, a little less, it's okay. And you just look for the mixture and what it looks like. Okay, anything else that I've pre-done? Yep, one more thing. When we roll the meatballs, you're gonna have a choice of doing the meatballs directly into the Instant Pot, which is what I'm gonna do because they're gonna cook, and they're gonna cook beautifully right inside the Instant Pot. I'm going to do half and half because I wanna see the difference in the slow cooker because you can actually put the meatballs right into the slow cooker themselves as well. But what tends to happen when they're doing it in the slow cooker, sorry, I just have to stir the sauce, it's getting very warm, very warm. So what's gonna happen is that you're gonna end up getting a little extra fat from the actual meat itself because the meat is not a lean meat. It's a heavier meat, more 16% fat. I think I have a 16% fat of the beef, and I have the pork is 20% fat. So you're gonna get a little fat on the top, but I like to scoop that off and just get rid of it. So I'm gonna do a couple of different things. I have some almond flour that I'm gonna coat on the outside when I roll the meatballs, and I'm gonna coat this, and we're actually gonna cook them in the oven, pre-cook them 5 minutes on each side after I roll them in the almond butter. So I'll pre-cook them 5 minutes on each side, and then I'll throw some in. So half in the pot in the slow cooker are gonna be cooked in the oven, and half will not be. Make sense? Okay. So I'm giving that a try, but in the Instant Pot, you don't need to do that. It's really they're gonna just come out beautiful. Okay, so we're ready to get started. So I'm gonna take one of our meat mixture. That's it. That's our meat mixture right there. And I'm gonna take one of our breads. And I'm gonna fold that in. I'm gonna save the extra juice, just in case. Same thing here, I'm gonna do the same with the onion and the garlic. I'm gonna hold off on putting all the juice in till the end. I don't really wanna have all that juice, right? Okay. Oh God, this just is heaven. If you could smell. Oh, it's just heaven. I can't even tell you, heaven. I'm gonna put the ricotta cheese in. Okay, and the egg. And then the last ingredient that's gonna fold in here, it's gonna be something that I already did. Well, I actually had a couple kitchen helpers with me today. So my daughter in Georgia helped. And they did some of the grating of my cheese. So I have 3 cheeses grated in here, right? Oh, yum. They are smelling outstanding. So the 3 cheeses I use an Asiago. It's a Parmesan. I use a regular Parmesan, and then I use a Arabella. They just all 3. I love how all of them taste together. you don't have to go to that extent. That's kind of, you know, I just kind of go overboard. Family's here, you know, I get excited. So I feel like I'm cooking for a holiday, but you know, one is fine. But you're gonna want about a half a cup for each bowl, right? So for this recipe. In the meat, I have about 1.5 pounds of both meats, just the regular beef and pork. Some people like to use a third type of meat. I don't, I just use the beef and pork. Okay, so I'm gonna put a half a cup of the cheese. So this is the part some people will get wigged out on, but if you don't like to mix your meat and get your hands in there, you know, ask somebody in your family that can do it. But what you want to do, just getting that fork out, is you want to fold this meat over. And it's going to be wet, so it's okay. I'm going to get it nice and mixed. And as I'm mixing it, one of the things I see that I actually didn't put in, so I'm going to wash my hands really quick and grab this. I'm missing some salt, and I like to have a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and some Providence herbs. So I'm just going to grab just a few of those really quick. I have this really coarsely ground. I hope you can see it really well. I know some people said that they'd like to see the camera go on a different angle, and I just don't have that capability yet, but I'm working it. So just hang with me. We'll get better and better. But I'll show you what this looks like at the end when it's all mixed together. Beautiful. And then I'm going to add sea salt, and it's pink Himalayan sea salt in here. The only salt that I cook with is pink Himalayan salt. Makes a huge difference. It's everywhere. You can't not find it. And then I do these herbs of the Providence. They're just a mixture of marjoram, thyme, savory, and sage, and rosemary. But they're non-GMO. I love that you can get these in non-GMO. Beautiful, certified. It's well worth the extra money. So I'm just going to add a little extra into those. Okay, so there we go. Now I can finish this mixing. So for the ones that I'm going to actually roll, I'm going to show you how I do that. Oops. With the flour. And I'm just going to do one of these, because you don't need to sit there and watch me make all of these, and roll them. So I'll do half and half. That's good. That's setting up really beautiful. So I'm just gonna, yeah, actually I'm gonna do both because I have the Instant Pot ready to go as well. But I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Just gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So you don't want to overwork that meat. All right, let's go ahead and do the other one. Get it ready. Okay. So I won't forget. Get that in first. Then I know it's going to be in. Again, I'm not the kind of person who measures anything. I'm trying to do my best at giving you rough estimates of that I really do to look and taste. That's how I cook. And recipes really should be that way. It really shouldn't be so. I know we go off in tangents. You know, in Messenger, I have several people who we converse back and forth, and I just love. I had one person who said, just yesterday, she said that she finally made both the sauce and then she made the lasagna for their anniversary. So that tickled me, and she's like, it was phenomenal. And that tickled me even more. Okay, so So that's ready to go. Let's just go ahead and add in our egg, our ricotta, and we're gonna take some of this juice, not make it all so juicy. I think that was perfect the last time I did that. Ah, smells heavenly. Okay. Oh, there it is. I was like, where's my bread mixture? I set it up on the top counter. I know some of you are like, it's on the top counter. Look, it's right over there. Too funny. I crack myself up. Beautiful. Okay. And cheese. And we are ready to mix it again. Oh, smells just so good. Actually, this meat, there was one part of my refrigerator, because I kept the meat in the outside refrigerator, and because it's so hot here in Florida, it got a little cold, so I've got a couple of pieces that are really, really super cold, hoping that all of this other stuff will warm them up. Again, those of you who are cooking a little bit lighter, you can do the lighter meats. For meatballs, I just prefer them not to be too light of meats. You know, like the lean, super lean. Oh, that's just gorgeous. Okay, this is where the flour is going to come in handy. So when you're actually rolling these, what you're going to do to roll them, and I'm going to grab, just clean up a little bit of space here. Make some room for my tray. Just got a tray right here, and I've got my flour. So it's gonna you might have to go back and forth with a little warm water. And I like to make them about golf ball size. So I'm gonna take some flour, and I'm just gonna roll them just like that. Gets a little messy too when you roll them, but they really look pretty. And I like to bake them because you can fry them. I just think baking is just a little nicer. So there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Awesome. So I'll just load those up on the tray here. So we're going to do half on the tray that we're going to have them just rolled and cooked for 10 minutes a piece, and then the other half we're just going to dump right in and then put them in the slow cooker. This is the time where I wish I had the ability to stop the camera and pull everything out and show you exactly what it looks like. So it's a good thing that these that are going to go into the rolled version, I'm just going to keep that flour right over here. So we'll just put the other ones directly into the pot. This is going to be great. So after you get these all rolled, you're going to put them in a 350-degree oven. And you're going to cook 5 minutes on each side. It's really simple. And then you can plop them right into your sauce. And since I'm going ahead and going to the trouble of doing it this way, I think I'm going to feel more comfortable with how wet they are. I'm going to feel more comfortable letting them set up a little bit and baking them all. I haven't done the slow cooker where I've not done the pre-baking, just to get them a little bit to stand up. And I did do some research. You know, I'm new to the Instant Pot community, and I did some research. And some people have done that, where they've just gone ahead and plopped them right into the slow cooker. And I know that you can. I mean, I know that you can. Because I saw the pictures. They were beautiful. But I just don't feel so comfortable doing that. I'll do one or two, and I know where I'll place them. I don't know. I'm just so old school when it comes to doing this. And I got to get out of that thought process, right? With the Instant Pot. I'm talking myself back into going in where I thought I wouldn't go. I wish I had more comments from some of you that I could read. As I get closer, I'll look and see if any of you have popped up. Throw a thumbs up if you just put them right into the Instant Pot. That would be fabulous to see some people's comments on that, especially as we're learning in this beautiful community. Oh, they are setting up so pretty. They look so pretty on this tray. But meatballs, I mean, they're really simple. I mean, when you actually have the ingredients and it's really not a lot of time. It's a little messy. Yeah, they do get a little messy, but really it's not that much time. Oh, and the almond flour. I like the almond flour. You can use any kind of flour, really. But I like the almond flour. Again, it's has a good flavor, and it just really works. Softer, you know, doesn't create, like if you were to fry these, which I don't fry, but if you were gonna, you know, just it's a little softer of a flour. I think it doesn't make anything taste floury. You know, you don't want your meatballs to have a flour taste to them. So my hands are getting so sticky right now that I'm gonna have to just go ahead and wash them, because it'll make them tacky if I don't get a good rinse. So don't be afraid to get some warm water onto your hands and get them dried off, so that you can continue to work with your stuff. Okay, there we go. So for the Instant Pot community, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna just roll them, and we're gonna put them straight in and cook them for 10 minutes and see how they turn out. I mean, why not? These will be halfway done in the oven by the time the ones that are in the Instant Pot. Oh, I got a thumbs up on that. Thank you. I'm appreciating that. Thank you. Couple thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Fabulous. Okay, it's done. I love it. Okay, so these really look beautiful. So the only thing you're gonna wanna do is sprinkle them generously again on the top before you pluck them in the oven. 350 degrees, 10 minutes is what you're gonna be doing. Let me get my hands dried off again. It does become a little tedious, so, you know, not a big deal. It's part of what cooking's all about, kind of enjoying doing what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this tray in. Let me show you what it looks like. So isn't that gorgeous? Look at how pretty those are. Yummy, 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 yummy. I'm gonna pop these in, come back, and we'll do the Instant Pot next, because these are gonna go into the slow cooker. Let me get these in for 10 minutes on each side. Okay, and let's go ahead and get that other mixture, because this one is nearly done. And I'll just start fresh with this one, because this is the one that's going in the slow cooker. Okay, here we go, people. I'm pretty excited about this. Again, we're gonna lightly coat them. When the coating also keeps them nice and packed tightly. And I'm just gonna float them into the sauce that's already in the slow cooker. This is exciting. I can't even tell you. And by the time these should, you know, I do a slow release on the steam, so it's gonna be 10 minutes, but it's gonna be a slow release, okay? Yeah, let me show you. I don't know if some of you said, let's see the ball. Looks just like that, okay? Now we're gonna pop that in. But you know, just going back to why a lot of times people like to have the raw onion and the garlic into the meat. I'm not that kind of person. I think that you get a more savory flavor of that garlic when you do the sautéing. Much like when we do, when we make the pasta sauce, you know, we've gone ahead and if you go back to that recipe, you will see that in that pasta sauce, we actually put that in the oven. We put the garlic in the oven because it just gives that flavor, that just savory garlic flavor. It's just beautiful. It's so yummy. Okay. I will have to push some of these down with my ladle a little bit. This is exciting. Okay. So this is getting to the point, it's good timing where I can get one more in. I'm going to turn them around inside this Instant Pot, so it gives me a little bit more space to put a few more in. And again, if you missed the beginning, you know that we've just gone ahead and put the pasta sauce that we made a couple weeks ago. I took it out of the freezer. It's so easy. And I just went ahead and scooped it into the containers. So I'm going to push that down a little bit so that we make some more room for a few more balls. And I probably could have given a little bit more space and not put as much sauce in, but I really like to have the meatballs covered. So I'm just going to lift them down a little bit more. Okay. And I've created some space for some more, which is great. Okay. So we'll go back to forming. I think I'm going to get about 4 more in there, and then we're going to turn it on. It's actually been in the warming setting. I just went ahead and had the pasta sauce getting started to be warm, but just in the warm setting. And I'm making these exactly the way that I put into the oven. I just love coming up with new ways to do things, and this Instant Pot has just opened my eyes to cooking. And I love the traditional methods, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's what, look, you know, most of you who know my age, I'm 53 and a half, right? So, so I'm a traditionalist. I grew up cooking traditionally, and you know, slow cooker was my thing forever. That's all the kids ever saw me cook. That's pretty much all Brad ever saw me cook. And so having this Instant Pot, when they showed up and we were talking about what we were having for dinner, I was just telling them, I said, you guys have got to get this Instant Pot because, you know, you're in college, or my son is teaching now, and it just makes your life so easy. And I thought, you know, we had it made when we first could get our first slow cooker, right? I mean, didn't you think you had it made when you had your first slow cooker? It's like, you just, I know with the girls who I taught with, you know, we would talk about what recipes we made, and or right before we would go running, Karen and I would always talk about different recipes that we made while we were running. It was just a great, you know, great way, you know, just threw it in the morning, and we finished our run, got ready for school, and started teaching, and, you know, just was just crazy awesome. Okay, that is pretty full, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it just like that. Let me get my hands cleaned off so we can put the top on. So remember, if you haven't said where you're from, please feel free to share with us where you're from, and welcome. And share this on your wall so that you can have a chance to win. So we're going to go ahead. Now remember, for the Instant Pot, those of you who don't have an Instant Pot yet, let's just kind of go through the basics real quick. You want to make sure that the dial is in the closed position, this is the steamed position. So you want to have it in the locked position, right there. See that right there? So the steamed, the actual steam guy, he's got a steam. That's your release valve. And then the lock valve, it sinks down and it just creates a lock. And because it's a pressure cooker. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I've got a pressure cooker. Well, it's the same thing. So then it just snaps down. The lid fits on super tight. And then you're going to just lock it. See? So simple. Lock. Easy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select a setting. And we're going to do meat. Meat. So this meat setting is 15 minutes, and I'm okay with 15 minutes because it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to keep it at that, especially since we put those in not cooked. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to finish rolling these up, the mixture that we have left. I'm going to put them in the slow cooker and flip those that are in there for 10 minutes. I'll keep them each a little separately in the slow cooker and put that top on. And then you'll have it. You'll have the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I want to thank everybody for coming. If I just turn those, you don't need to see me turn those. You just saw what I did is putting them in here. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of this mixture. And that mixture, I'm going to put the rest in here. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Now next week, I have a surprise. So I will just be surprising you next week with what we've got cooking. We won't be here in this kitchen, but we're going to be somewhere. So it'll be exciting and fun. So look for the comments below because you'll see me take some pictures of the various stages of how everything goes. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll show the difference in the slow cooker where the ones that are actually been pre-cooked and the other, and then we can do a taste test and see if there's a difference, if you can actually taste the difference. So I'll keep you posted in the comments. Now, I think what will make it really easy, since we have the meatballs as the final part of what I do with the sauce, although I do make an Italian sausage using some of the sauce. But I think just for now, what I'll do is I'll put the lasagna feed and I'll also put the pasta sauce feed, so it's all below, so you can actually see it. Oh, the Instant Pot is starting to make its gurgling noise, so you know it's getting ready. It's already heated up, so that's one of the beauties of kind of having that sauce up preheated. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so thrilled that you come back every week and share these great cookings on your wall, and just enjoying the fun. And it's so much fun getting to know some of you as my new friends. That's been just one of those things that I never thought when we got this started what that would mean. So I appreciate everything and everyone, and we'll see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. I won't be doing the Come Shop With Me, but I will be doing some teasers while we're actually on vacation. So love to you all, and have a great, great weekend. See ya.